All right, welcome everybody to Ben's Brick Designs. I'm Ben. Welcome in Precision Bricks and Mech Op Studios. I hope you're doing well. Hello, Missy. Thank you for being here. Happy Friday. Sorry about not having a stream last night, but last night was Pride Night at our favorite karaoke place, which generally means a good party. You know, doesn't mean anything else other than that. And I like karaoke, so we went and it was a good time. A friend of ours met us there. It was just me and Beth and this other person. But that starts at 8, so I was like, well, there's no way I'd be done with that in time, or this in time, and then go to that, because the list to sing gets very long. We were there probably about 2 hours before I even sang one song, which is a little different from like other times when you can probably get 2 or 3 songs in, but that wasn't the case. Anyway, so today I'm working on redoing some older Microfighters. I got a message from someone on Rebrickable asking for the instructions for this ship. This ship is from an old, I say old, late 90s, early 2000s, I don't remember when it was, show called Dark Matter. And it was a Canadian science fiction show. I never watched it. I want to kind of go back and watch it and see what it's about. But I knew that there was a ship involved. And I think the suggestion to make this ship originally was from someone saying, hey, you should add this ship to your list. The ship is called the Raza, from the show Dark Matter. And I don't know who the actual captain is. It's not this android. And I apologize, my coughing has not gotten any better. So I need to watch the show and figure out like why I put this person in it. Who pilot the Raza shuttle. 2. Nope. So yeah, I don't know. There's a new show called Dark Matter now that is about, I think it's got Taron Egerton in it, and it's more time travel-y. It's like quantum entanglement kind of thing, where it's like he's experiencing different realities and he really isn't sure which one's which. I don't think it got picked up for more than a season, but I don't know. I think I watched the first episode and was kind of like, yeah, that's fine. But now I don't know. So I don't know why I put this character in here. But the ship itself, if we can get back to this, I think I had to find a lot of different, there weren't too many images of it. And I think I used probably some of these gaming images to get it finished, or toy images. It's a cool ship. It gives off a bit of like Prometheus vibes, where it's got the, you know, it's very standard thing to have sort of the controllable VTOL engines that control thrust, but it suffers from some typical Hollywood things, where it's definitely got you can fly this in atmosphere. It's very sleek. It's got an open canopy up here in the front, which really doesn't need. You can have your your CIC or your bridge basically inside the ship. You don't need to see outside of it. You can see everything from radar and cameras and stuff like that. So there will always be the need for that, but that's like a Hollywood thing. As you can see, there aren't too many images of it. But the person had asked if I had instructions for it on Rebrickable, and I was like, I just send you the design file, like, it's fine. So this was the ship. I don't think it needs a whole lot of work, but there's some things on here that I don't understand why I did. Like these things? Like, what is that? So these obviously rotate. I could make these into groups so it's easier to rotate. But they're all the same engine. It's just... What did I do? I didn't do anything. Oh, that must have got... Yeah, so... These did get rotated. What the heck? They're just living in there for some reason. That was really weird. It's like they got replaced with something. Like they were supposed to be somewhere else. Okay, so moving forward, the ship would have rotational. These things would rotate to 90 degrees and look like this, right? Let's rotate all these to 90 degrees, figure out what the heck these are all for. And then group them so I can easily grab them. Oh, I know what they were for. They're like this. That makes sense. Okay. Which makes these a little tall, but I don't think 90 degrees is the right way for this. This is going to be 270. So how is everybody doing? I know it's a Friday. I know that this is not the general time for a stream, but I appreciate you being here. You have plans for the weekend coming up? Oh, this is already set at 270, so 188 is. Yeah, so this is what it looks like normally, and then this is our pilot, and again, I don't know who this is, but whatever. Doing good, that's excellent. So yeah, there's a couple things on here, like I would still want to put the little bridge thing. I might want to put, like, it looks like it's got a little turret here. This is a pretty good looking model right here. There's really not a lot I would improve upon, to be honest. It's got all the coloring that I want. I might replace this. These are just fun images. That's not from the show. That's from Minecraft. Maybe. Yeah, there's not a lot of... This isn't a highly... talked about show, so not a lot I think I would improve upon here now that I'm looking at it. There are new pieces. I thought maybe doing some new pieces would improve it, but I mean, it's small enough to where... How many pieces? There's 108 pieces, so first of all, it's pretty big for a Microfighter. There's just not a lot that I can look at either to say one way or another if it needs work. I mean, the engines are the right shape. Everything looks like the right scale. This looks like it's a turret, maybe. So like if I wanted to, I could put, you know, binoculars. set of them back here, but that's where this guy sits, so I almost don't like that as much. Yeah, it's really hard to tell from any angle, like if this is, I think it's fine. Yeah, there's nothing I'd really change about it. So yeah, so I guess I could make some directions for this. It probably wouldn't take that long. I'm trying to see if I would reduce piece count at all, but everything seems pretty economical. I mean, the only thing I might do is like set these up to be a little more curved, like this right here, but I think everything else looks okay. Maybe a jumper plate. You're on vacation for the next 2 weeks? That's lovely. Is that mostly because of Rick Rodeo? Yeah, this is like the only thing I would do on this ship. I think I did a pretty good job on this one. This was an older design too. I don't even like that back there. Let's just put this. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put ingots in here to give it a little more, because I think when I designed this, believe it or not, ingots were not as prevalent as they are now. And maybe here too. Yeah, that's yeah, I'm okay with this, and I don't think it's that hard to build. So let's I'm gonna save this one for now, and then we'll come back to it if there's time to do instructions, or at least start instructions. Then I can upload it. In the meantime, I'm gonna try to figure out who I thought the pilot was gonna be. Dark matter. It's not the Apple TV show. Yeah, she lays here occasionally, and then she just gets bored and goes and lays on the floor. They just like flat surfaces. Well, you're not a quadruped. They're probably just as comfortable laying on a flat surface as they are. And I haven't decided if I'm going to the Rise game or not. If the ladies or Rowan wants to go, I'll go. I don't know if I'll go by myself. So, have a good day at work. Love you, bye. Let's see. Say hi to the birds on the way out. Yeah, oh, we absolutely have babies. 2015 TV series. Cast. Mark as... I think this was probably it. I think I was just saying, oh, you know what would tell me for sure? My stupid list. What did I say? E.C. Henry ship, Star Trek, non-Star Wars. Raza. Jace Corso? Who the heck is Jace Corso? 4, 5... Oh, okay. So yeah, Jay's Corso slash as one. So I guess they, and I don't know the show. I guess they're androids, but they also get their own names. So maybe that's it. All right, let's look up Jay's Corso. Not Cane Corso. Sure, why not? That looks like this guy. Nondescript white dude with a jacket and a blaster. Sounds good. All right. So, this one's probably mostly done. So, while we go on to the second one I wanted to work on, I had an idea for the Q2 Stadium. This came to me the other day. So, the scale of the building is not minifig scale, but it's also not quite nanofig. Like, it's a little bigger than nanofig. Like it's just bigger than nanofig or statue pieces, right? I thought maybe what I would do is order a bunch of black, verde and black, and probably white. And I still might. I don't know. This is just an idea. Let's open this up. Get a bunch of nanofigs and just kind of populate, not the seating area, but like the concourse area with nanofigs. But they're a little small for this. So what I thought of doing is doing that thing like they do with some of the micro or the MIDI scale builds for Star Wars and color them and put in these little plate people, right? So what I thought of doing is like, so this would be like, for me, this is a representation of me, right? Black shorts, green jersey, white person face, brown hair. So that's me. And this size pretty much fits the right size of, it's probably even a little smaller than that, so maybe we could do 5 big. But if you did a nano figure, I wonder how big nano figures are compared to that. They're about the same size. All right, so it's not that big of a change. But what I thought of doing would be anybody who I'll get a bunch of different. I'll order extra pieces. I'll get a bunch of green, a bunch of black, a bunch of white, a bunch of blue, probably for like jeans. Blonde, red, brown, black for hair. Maybe a handful of other colors if you got dyed hair or something like that. And then a bunch of different skin tones. For those, and then I'll have them in little tubs, and for anybody who helps build it, they build themselves as a little figure, and they can put themselves in the building somewhere. And even if you don't help build, once it's near completion, I can do a thing, or we or whoever can do a thing where anybody who wants to come see it before it gets displayed or gets put up, or even once it's put up, can build their own figure. Maybe for a donation, like to Dell Children's or something like that. For every $5, you can make a little figure and put it in the stadium. And so the stadium is populated by all different kinds of people, and they'll all look different because everybody builds themselves. So that was an idea I had. I was like, I think that'd be a lot of fun. So we'll see what happens with that long term. But I was like, that'll be fun. So anyway, that's the idea I had. What's up, George? How's it going? All right, so we're gonna leave that one for now. The next one I was gonna work on was the tie. I would do that, but I live too far away. That's fair. The tie shuttle. What's up, Cliff? So this one is gonna be, I'm gonna turn this one into a new TIE bomber. So this is the current TIE bomber. do a TIE Bomber Mark II. And this one will be very easy. Because this one's really big, and this one is not comparatively, but this one's more Microfighter scale. Yeah, I thought it'd be fun. And it'll be like we could have a fundraiser that says help populate Q2 Stadium, right? Put yourself in Q2 Stadium. I don't know, $1, you know, something like that. I don't know what it, you know, all funds go to Dell Children's or something like that. I don't know. I'll work with them on that. So, this is a TIE shuttle that can be turned into a TIE bomber, and I want to make sure that it can be turned into a TIE bomber because I want to make sure the wings rotate properly. Because these wings are on here kind of backwards. I'll show you what I mean here in a second. So let's move these out. These are on here pretty illegally. Right? Like you're not supposed to put, I don't think that's a good build technique, is putting studs into technicals like that. So what we're gonna do, and I mean that's fine for this, it's already done. I've already got it built. But what we can do now is we're gonna replace this with a, how you doing today, George? And Cliff, what's going on in your world? Happy Friday to you. What do you got planned for this weekend? I'm gonna place it with that. Honestly, all I'm gonna do is turn this around. So I'm gonna take this off here. Turn it around. Put this on the other side. And it's gonna go on this. I'm just gonna flip these wings. It's gonna be real easy. And this gives you an idea of the modularness of the Imperial doctrine. Because there's so many things that they had that were cheap and in big numbers. Oh wait, flip that around. So to get away with that, they would make them really modular, really easily customizable. And this is a good indication, or a good example. The TIE Bomber, and I don't think that's exactly where I want it to go. I think I want it to go a little farther back. Has the same body type as the TIE Boarding Craft, this TIE Shuttle, and one other. There was like a TIE Recon something or other. So that made it really easy to like spend a lot of money to get a lot of these done. And there you go. Now it's a TIE Bomber. So I'm gonna get rid of this guy, and we're gonna do a torso TIE Star Wars. Oh, because it needs to be printed. Torso TIE. Should be a TIE Pilot in here somewhere. I can go get it from another model, but we just make a new one. Actually, yeah, let's just go get another pilot. TIE. I made one for it. Nope, not for the TIE Fighter. Did I do one for the TIE Avenger? Nope. Did I not put pilots in any of these? There we go. So we'll get rid of this. We're going to call this save as TIE Bomber 2. Mark 2. Caps lock is on. Cool. Get him to actually sit in it. Cool. Now I have a TIE Bomber. So the thing about the TIE Bombers is that they have these weird little things up front that are launch tubes, or they can be, you know, many different things. But for a 101 piece model, I think this is great. Why is this not? Oh, okay. Yeah, that works. So I think I'll probably make another one of these as a TIE Bomber, and we'll just call it a day. Save. All right, so I don't need that. Big news. I just got an email this morning that Lego, this, I can go look now. Lego and Bricklink are combining their login information, so it'll be a single sign-on for both Lego and Bricklink. And they've already got a banner up here. So this fall, if you've got a Lego account and a Bricklink account, behind the scenes they're going to combine them. I'm sure this is a logistical nightmare for both groups, and I do not envy the IT personnel that it's going to take to do this. It seems like a simple thing, but there has to be federated trusts between tenants and server hosts and DNS, and like there's all this kind of stuff where you have to be able to pass credential information across secure and unsecure locations, and it's just not as easy as like, well, this, you know, if I sign on here, I'm also signed on there. What I would do if I were a person now, and I should have said this to begin with, or I should have said it, they should have said it in their email, is before the change, to make it easier on you, change your passwords on Lego and Bricklink so you're using the same password, so you're not confused. So it makes sense to you because it's going to change anyway, but to rule out confusion, so you're not trying to use an old, because if your Lego password or your Bricklink password don't match each other, you may not remember which one is which. So you'd have to like do a forgot password anyway. So if you have time, make sure that your Lego password, Lego.com password, and your Bricklink password are the same. Just for mental space, freeing up a couple bits of space in your RAM, so you don't have to think about it. This is ahead of some more terms of service changes that they're going to do, and I'm sure because now it's a single sign-on to terms of service, that some of that'll change too. ID card picks. So your little, this little thing's going to change to whatever you have on Lego.com, which I think is dumb. I'm hoping I get to keep my username, but I don't really care about that. Privacy policy will change because it has to be in line with Lego. Terms of service will have to change because it'll be in line with Lego. You can change your profile images back to once the accounts are integrated. Oh, yeah, you can't have custom avatars anymore. Just like on Lego, you got to pick one of their standard doofy, meaningless minifig pictures. If you love your current ID card pick and want to save it, make sure to download it. You'll be able to download your custom ID. Doesn't mean you get to reuse it. You can just download it. But I mean, I uploaded this because it's just a random avatar that I had, so you won't be able to do that. Eventually, your Lego account nickname will become your public username on Bricklink. So, like, mine's going to be... No. Yeah, I don't have a nickname over here, so I'd have to do Ben's Brick Designs. I've changed this. It'll be Ben Rollman. It's kind of lame. I don't like this, but whatever. I just ordered this because I had this many points and I wanted to get 2,500 points so I could get that space car. So I had to order like $40 of stuff. So I'm hoping that this ships pretty soon. So by July 1st, I can, it says it shipped. So I should be getting it. Anyway, that's some news that's coming up. I'm not super happy about, but what are you gonna do? You know. Back to this. So this is your new TIE bomber. I'll probably make this, get the parts for this. I don't think I have so it won't let me replace this plate with a good plate. Oh, there we go. Cool. I can do the replace now. There we go. With all these that conflict. Replace all. Cool. Yeah, that saves me so much time. All right, so the other one, just finishing up the last of the shirts. Nice. It'll be exciting to see those in at Brick Rodeo. I'll be wearing mine. I'll be wearing mine. I Heart Bricks to Brick Rodeo. Cool shirt. I'll probably end up wearing a lot of Lego shirts this time. I know last time I wore a lot of soccer jerseys, only because soccer jerseys are so comfortable, but I've got enough Lego shirts that I can get away with wearing. The problem is they're all Will Heron shirts, and everybody wears them, so it's kind of like, you look like everybody else. So I haven't decided 100% if I'm going to do that. Alright, so that's done, I'll go back and do instructions for this. So this is the other one that I had on the list. I think it was, yeah. So this is just a big monstrosity of a it's a Microfighter, but there's no way it's a Microfighter. It's way too big. So the idea is to go back and redo it so it makes sense and is smaller and is less cumbersome and is not as giant. I'm going to try to do this with a few of the existing models that I have in order to try to, because I've never built this one, so it'd be nice to have it built because it's one of my favorite ships. I think it's a cool, this and the attack shuttle, the clone attack shuttle, which I do have a build for, I think. I'm just gonna look up shuttle and try to remember which one it is. I think it's a new class shuttle. Yeah, this one's even a little too big. I mean, this one's any one of these, any of these that become a Lambda class shuttle are too big, I think. Alright, so there's a problem with these pieces. Something happened with these pieces in the latest update. They got all messed up. That's two models now that I've seen that these have been turned sideways and screwed up. So you can see I have this one built, and it's a good size. It's a fine size. It's 54 pieces. How that turns into this at twice, 3 times, 4 times as many pieces. You know, 50 pieces, almost 200 pieces. So I think the idea is going to be to take this model and redo it. Even for this one, there's just too many pieces in here. And a lot of them are because there are shapes and stripes. If you're looking at what the new class shuttle looks like, it does have a lot of these, you know, you want to try to get the stripes on it because it's got, you know, it's got these dark red and yellow stripes on it. So, you know, this does look like this. I think it's a good approximation of the actual shuttle. The problem is, in order to make it look like that, you know, oh, and this can totally be replaced now with a little something else. And there's like a lot of these back here. So here's like an Imperial version. Somebody redid this. The back end of this, I don't know if we can find one. It's got a ton of like little engines on it. So it's got all these, right? So you try to replicate that. That's a bunch of different parts. Yeah, I don't know what it does for the Bricklink. Like if you have a different email for it, if it's the same ID but it's a different email, like I don't know how that gets handled. So this isn't terrible, but it's a far cry from this. This is just massive and it's too big. Part of the reason I have this here is because I ran into a model somebody made of this one. Nope, that's also entirely too big. That's, I don't remember whose this was, but it's not, I don't think it's mine. It's way too chunky. It's more pieces than most sets, and I never built it. It's not the Sentinel. Maybe this is it. Oh, I did an Imperial. That's neat. So I got this from somebody. I reverse engineer it. Hey, Lego kid. Thanks for being here. I reverse engineered this from somebody. Reverse engineered this. I don't know where that accent came from. From somebody on like Eurobricks or something a long time ago, and I really liked. At the time, I'm like, this looks really cool. I like the way you brick built the wings instead of being just plates, right? Wedge plates. But since then, we've got a lot of different cool wedge plates that I think would work really well, and it makes the wings look chunky and heavy. Also, I just like the way they stuck this tile in this clip right here to make it look cool, right? But I was like, well, I'm going to take, this is still 150 pieces. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and adapt it to every shuttle that I build from now on, which is how you ended up with this. That's just way too, it's too much. So I think what I'm going to try to do is adapt this, which is a lot smaller, but it's minifig scale, right? And just turn it into that, into this other one. So it's going to be a lot of back and forth. What we're going to do, back over here. Nope, so I don't need that. What's still to be done on what? Don't need that. Don't need that. Anything to do with that? We'll keep that around for just a hot second. And you can see like the size differential here. One's a Microfighter, one is almost a whole set. So to keep this that size, I just want to try to compare it to that size. So these don't have, let's look up a, what was this again? An ETA class shuttle. The first thing that comes up in the ETA class shuttle, it's got this round, and I already know I'm going to skip this song before you get to the whiny clarinet part. Part of the ETA class's charm is this round canopy, right? Up until now, we've had this sort of wedge shape canopies, the Lambda, the shuttle for the Emperor, the Sentinel class. There's even a new one in Andor that's like a Lambda class, but it's a little smaller, and it was used for like medevac, I think. They landed a few people on, and I think they landed like 6 people in it. Whereas the Lambda can carry like not a platoon, but at least like a squad of troops. This other smaller shuttle, which I kind of want to build, was a little smaller. So first things first is try to figure out how to make this cockpit. Now I want to keep the round. The cockpit itself isn't the problem. Like I think this is still a pretty good cockpit. And you can see why I tried to do it the way I did, because it's round, but it's got these, like, it looks like a bug, right? I don't know what that is. It's got this like divided area in the middle and like these two sort of almond-shaped bug eyes, which is kind of a bad cockpit design, to be honest, because if you're sitting over here, you can't see anything this way. If you're gonna have a big glass bubble, make a big glass bubble and don't block your view. But this has got this giant thing in the way where they're blocking the view. So I tried to, you know, with what pieces were available, make that. Mac Builds Bricks, hello. Thank you for being here. Welcome. Happy Friday to you. So while I like the way this is positioned, and I think this would fit well just like transferred to a size like that, let's see if we can do better. What did I do? Why am I not able to move this around? So I'm going to take this. You need to be grouped. did I do? Why am I... Did I do a sticky key or something? What are you up to, Mac Builds? What are you doing today? I know it's a Friday and most people are at work, so if you are viewing from work somewhere or school, I appreciate you coming by. And we're gonna get rid of this. Alright, so we don't need this because we don't need it hanging down there anymore. And this will become... This just doesn't feel like a solid connection for me with this hanging off the front. So what I might do instead is get rid of that and put, let's see, where do we want to have it in comparison to the body? Let's put it in position. Should come right off the front of the body. At the same time, but I work in IT and I work self-paced usually. Aw, man. Okay, so I apologize. There's going to be frame dropping or something. It might stutter, it might buffer. So I'll just keep rambling a little bit until it's back up. I hope everybody's okay and can reconnect. This should be something different. So I was thinking of replacing these guys with... This is how old this is. I don't think that there were... these guys yet when I originally built this guy. Is this a... Yeah, it's doing that thing again where it's not, it says it's not getting enough data. I think this needs to be a little bigger. Maybe one plate. And there's nobody else here. So it's just it's just my stream. It's back now. Okay, cool. Sorry if you missed anything. See, and now there's even better, cooler, newer pieces that I could use for something like this. Something like that. Does this come in black? It does. Replace this whole piece right here with just that. It's a little wide, so maybe not. And I have to be able to put a person in there. So let's get rid of all this and see if we can recreate a rounded cockpit with newer pieces. Even under here. Like I tried, and it may be something where maybe we get a sticker or something. Because I know that there's like a quarter dome-shaped pieces. That's too big. That's too big. That's too big. Dome. Yeah, that's too big, but kind of something like that, right? Would look better. Than what we've got. But I think that's too big. So I'm going back with there's new, and I don't know what they're called. They're new pieces. They're only like 1 by 1 brick big, I don't know if they're considered a slope. Oh, maybe they are. These guys. These guys are much smaller, and would you know it? They come in black. So I've had 2 of these on either side, like that. And then something in the middle, but then they'd have to be held up. So they'd have to be, let's do... Someday I'd like to be able to just sit there and design something like this. Well, there's no stopping you. The software's free. Do you just not have time? Oh, is this not a modified brick? Is it a... I think it's a round brick. Knowledge. Oh, well, to be fair, sometimes I do this on stream because I know that I don't know every part that's available. And I've found immeasurable help from people saying, hey, you should try this. Hey, you should try that. There's quite a few. When I was working on all the Horizon machines, you know, I have a mental image of what I want. I can, with the part knowledge that I have, assemble something that kind of looks like I want it to look, but then it's the problem of connecting it, right? How do I get the thing that I made look like the thing I want, connect to the rest of the body, or correct the rest of the ship or something? And sometimes I don't have all, you know, and you experiment, you try, it's like, well, let's try this snot technique, or let's try this pin and bar technique, or this clip and something technique. And oftentimes somebody will say, have you tried this? And I haven't. And I'm like, oh, that's great, you know? So it sometimes is just a matter of somebody else seeing it. And it, you know, it just comes with practice too. Once you start being able to work with the software more, you discover new pieces. And you discover at least what Bricklink calls all their pieces. So you can remember, oh yeah, I need this as a whatever. Except now he doesn't have a place to sit. Okay, so let's do those. Let's do a round plate. And to be honest, I do this really well with Microfighters and the Horizon machines that I make. But that's about it. I really haven't done anything bigger than that. Tile. And I may be getting too fancy with this as it is. Like, he still needs to sit in here somewhere. But I think we're getting closer to what I want. That looks really cool. Like the thermal detonator's hatch. That's perfect, yeah. And I knew there was something in there. But sometimes it's like you got to have somebody say, hey, try this. You're like, oh, yeah. Alright, so we'll come back to the cockpit because I like the way that's going. Kodiak, man, I haven't seen you in an age. How's it going? Yeah, I like that a lot better than this. I would rather have different pieces under here. Let's get rid of all this. I'm gonna keep that piece because I think I might be needing that. But can we just do curved slopes, slope inverted? I forget if it puts it in curved slopes or inverted slopes. Curved slopes. These are also new. Should be using these. Oh man, that'd be great. I could figure out how to do these inverted. They come in black? Nope. So screw that. Oh, Kern, you're on your way to Colorado? Work still? That's too bad. But I bet it comes in black. Yeah. That's too boxy. It's not round enough. I don't think it comes in black either, but I may be wrong. Yeah, I think it did. So I almost just want to do this and this. But I think that's kind of a cop-out. I don't know, maybe that's all right. Put a round plate in there, or just a plate. And then maybe, this is basically what I had before. Just like the indication of a round cockpit under here, but it's not. Yeah, I don't necessarily like that, but we'll come back to it. All right, so good position, good start on that. This needs to attach, so we're gonna make sure this is in line with a plate down here. So come up to your grid and you pick the smallest granularness, and I'm trying to align this section right here to this section right here because I'm going to attach it. So I want Mace to sit, I think, very central, but he can sit a little farther back if he wants. Let's get rid of his lightsaber for the time being. Raise his arms up. Are you, Kodiak, are you watching and driving? Like a scofflaw? Oh, I have to release these. This isn't a good Mace Windu costume because it's just a kit bash. There is an actual Mace Windu costume somewhere, but minifigure. We'll go ahead and group him. So go ahead and group him. Thank you. I was thinking about the 2003 Clone Wars Mace Windu the other day. I feel like people slept on that. Man, that whole thing was so good. I loved it. Was it Cody? Was it the 501st? There was that scene where they get dropped off by the lat and just take off. And they're just silent and like doing hand signals and just owning all the droids. They had rocket launchers and they had, you know, grappling hooks, and, you know, they were crushing it. They were doing so well. I think also my favorite part is when Grievous is fighting those Jedi. Like, they find a downed ship that's missing Jedi and they send a bunch of people to investigate it. The ARC troopers, thank you. And one of them is this scared, scruffy Jedi, and his name is like, I'm gonna type it in chat. It's like this. His name is Shaggy, but it's like Star Wars-y. Like, his name is literally like Shaggy or something, and you're like, come on. And he's the one, and he's like, I think there's something in here. He was this short of saying zoinks. But yeah, so and then Grievous like murders all of them. He just like murks this whole group of Jedi. It's so great. And then Mace Windu's like, I don't think so. How about no? All right, so get rid of that. And this plate can now be a. Is this holding something up? Nope. Get rid of that. And we'll put a 6 in here. Yeah, the fact that that Jedi's name is like Shaggy, I'm like, you have gotta be kidding me. All right, so this is starting to come together. I like this. I'm gonna save this as the Edda class shuttle Mark II, because I'm not gonna get rid of the one I've already done, but can't save it here. Please choose another location. What? Oh, did it? I don't like the mark. I can't save it into search results. Okay, why can't I? Did I lose connection? Studio files. Yeah, I don't want to search. Weird. So this is going pretty well. The Mark II does not have these angled wings, so we're gonna get rid of these guys, break these up. So we don't need these hinges because they don't need to be bent. So I'll get rid of some pieces there. Let's raise these a little bit. And like, I'm not opposed to keeping this section. And actually no, let's just get rid of that. We're gonna start fresh here. I still like this area over here, these are this rounded, let me see, it's got this kind of rounded area that goes along with this rounded kind of fuselage area. That's just going to be hard to recreate at this scale, so I'm just going to kind of leave it like this. It'll be fine. Although, there's now... Oh, how would I do that? There's now that new piece. It's like this. Excuse me. Get rid of that. Move that down. Put a headlight brick in there. Headlight. Yeah, he was an absolute threat in that. He was looking amazing. Oh, perfect. That fits perfectly. And now I can put a little guy in there. Plate.
And I'd like to propose a toast to the most slappinest, most poppinest, most banginest hip hop.
And then a R2L. And this will go all the way in there because the back part is hollow. Perfect. All right. I don't know where that voice came from. What color can these guys be? They aren't new enough to be dark red yet, so I'm gonna have to do something. A lot of this is gonna have to be dark red. That necessarily doesn't have to be a gun either. I just like the roundedness of it. But let's switch this up. Get rid of this, get rid of that. That forward. That forward. Come on, studio. For my talk on when we get to Brick Rodeo, there's going to be a lot of do not use this software. It'll break your heart how mind-bogglingly awful it is in some cases. Forward, and remember that there's a gap here. That's fine, we'll deal with that later. Oh wait, I don't want that one forward yet. I want this one. And remember that there's a gap under here for some reason now. I don't like these things on the sides here. I think I was doing that as a cheat, but so then I want these to be in red. So I can have a red tile up here. Yeah, I 100% agree, Kodiak. The amount of times, and people have seen it when I'm streaming, the amount of times I'm like yelling at the software because it's not doing what I want to is more than it should be. These come in dark gray. They do not. Stuck with white, light gray, and I don't think, like, that's not. I think I can almost keep it like that. It's just rounded. I like the roundedness of it. This can all stay. That's just a drawing. Yeah, this is pretty much the best views. And the whole reason this is elevated as high as it is because you try to get it out of the way of the cockpit where there's a person sitting. Yeah. I mean, that's very dark, but yes. Especially because it's like, I'm telling it, this is what I want you to do, and it's doing something completely different, but I can hear it going, I don't know what you want me to do. It's like, just put this thing right here. It's like, but I'm putting it all over here. You want it to connect to one of these? I'm like, yeah, you're connecting it to everything but the one place I want you to connect. Why are you jumping all over the place like this? You didn't used to do that. So from the front, it needs to, yeah, that's cool. I like that. So the wings now, let's focus on the wings for a hot second. This is where the little blaster things come in. Don't know that I can get rid of that. So this is going to be a combination of wedge plates. Wedge. And I'm just going to have to deal with it because it's easier than brick building them. If you brick build it, that's how you end up with these giant wings. And they look cool. They look right. You know, they look right. That works. That's perfect. The way that's designed. I am very happy with how that turned out. But it's massive. So I think what I'm going to do is there's a general shape for this, and we're going to try to do a big wedge plate and then cover it to make the rest of the angles. The other thing is, since I made this, triangle tiles are newish. We've got newer shaped wedge plates. I might be able to, you know, you just throw on some tiles on top of it and get the design you need. Unique brand of awful. For real. Nope, I want wedge plate. So let's go, let's aim for kind of a big... So now, man, I really nailed that wing. That was, has the little notch in it and everything. Which is why I'm not giving up on this one. It's just, it's so many pieces. It's almost 200 pieces. You know, if you try to make something that's a little more Microfighter-y. I'm just gonna put a blade bar. These guys under here. I think they come in white now. Under here. Trying to keep this simple. Let's move this up a little bit. And we can have wedge plates or wedges. Oh, get the other side. I'm going to start buffering again. YouTube says it's not getting enough data from me, so WTF, mate. All right, that's good. Almost want to do, let's try something, just to try something. I'm not going to replace, just put this over here for now. That is how big? 6, 4 by 6. See, if you were to go on top, that would be fantastic. Wedge plates. Yeah, my stream strength is excellent. Thanks. Appreciate that. Trouble is, these have got to come in right color. So I'll have to make sure that they're in the right. Almost want to do, it's going to make it way too complicated, but in that color, let's do matching, and then we'll do that, and then we'll do the other side. Let's just do the other side. Now, let's do a 2 by 6. This color. Now, I'm gonna. I realize the irony of doing all this and then saying that this was too many pieces, and yet I'm doing all this craziness with all the pieces over here. So I fully understand. But for now, let's just see what this looks like. Okay, that looks pretty good. I like that, how that looks. Just to make sure, this is 20 parts. This is 11 parts. Not bad. I probably have to do more. A UCS level Jedi Starfighter? No. In fact, they don't have a whole lot of, the only, I'm trying to think. The only UCS anything from the Clone Wars has been the LAT, hasn't it? Technically, Jango Fett's Starfighter is from Clone Wars, but it's from the Clone Wars era. It's not a clone ship. I don't think they've done a UCS Delta Aether Sprite. I don't think they've done an Eta class Starfighter, Jedi Starfighter. I know they haven't. One of the major side projects, and yeah, I agree, George. That's a great way to get into mocking, is physically or in the software. Physically get a set that you like and just rebuild it into something else, or just change the colors of it a little bit to something new. Or like people have been doing, take the given pieces that you have from the Flamingo set and turn it into Millennium Falcon, right? And in Studio, absolutely import a set and it gives you all the pieces in a big palette. They're all sitting out there, and you just assemble them based off of the instructions, and you get used to the pieces. It's not going to import everything. Some pieces with prints, some torsos aren't going to come in. They're going to look like boxes with question marks on them. You can discard those. But 100% do that. That's a great way to get to learn the system. This is coming together really good. I like this. I wanted to show you. I do have a project. I was trying to do a vulture droid, a UCS vulture droid size. So this could even be bigger. But I was working on, I hadn't even got to the wing portions yet. I've been working on like how to make, you know, this would be a CIS version, so it'd be the blue and gray one instead of the tan one. So I was working on like how to make striping and like all this stuff. And I was working on a function. This is a while ago. I haven't touched this in years. A function, how to make, this is how to make the wings. So these would be the wings, right? Stable. And I've never put this together. I'd really like to put this together and see what it does. So it's these ball clip pieces, right? These mixel joints. And they would slide in to here and clip into place. And then as the legs, they pull out a little bit, and this is all tiled in here so it's smooth, but then there's another clip along here. So clips one way, pulls out somewhat easily, clips in here so it doesn't keep sliding. And it's got these mixel joints, and these would be, so it has posable legs, right? But they would have to twist a little to be the wings. So I didn't get very far because I was frustrated with the level of wedge pieces that were available. There's been a whole lot of new sloped, curved, something wedge pieces that I think would be really helpful to make. I was trying to make the head, because the head also has to pop up. So I was trying to figure out a whole component on how to make the head sit in the ship, but then when the body tips down like that, the head kind of comes up and can rotate. So the idea was not to make it so you get one build, you know, you get to that point in the instructions where it says, which one do you want to build? You know, do you want to build it standing or do you want to build it in flight? Right? If you want to build it standing, go to page whatever. If you want to build it in flight, go to page whatever. I was like, no, I want it to be able to be like, build the whole thing and then you can pose it if you want to, right? And it comes with a stand for flight, and that same stand can then be used to kind of hold it up for, you know, because I don't think this is going to be very stable, so, but it can hold it up in droid walking mode. But figuring out the configuration and the size of the head, like I was really struggling with this head. But I think that'd be a great UCS Clone Wars thing. I don't think the CIS stuff, I think honestly the the AAT, the tank, would be an amazing UCS set. That would be a really good, solid kit. Tan, you know, Trade Federation or CIS coloring. Either way would be great. So I might revisit this at some point. I don't know what else I have in here. Cow. I have a cow somehow saved. Oh, that was the thing. I made this little guy. Or leg extension assembly. I think I built these in here. Yeah, I was working on the leg assembly bit in here. This was for Brick Rodeo in Houston a while ago. Because I was there. I'm going to be there this year. I was there last year. It must have been for the year that I didn't go, which would have been 5 years ago. And it's been a while, but this was one of the little con sets that everybody got. And I never got one, even though I was the one who designed it. It's a little longhorn. It's a UT colored longhorn. Comes with, you know, the little trunk, and, you know, it's very simple. But I thought it was cute. And Justin, Brady Joiner Bricks, got me one of them, so I'm going to go with my other con box. I think that's great. I meant to thank him for that. So in case you you guys run into Justin, I'm not going to save this, at the conventions, I've heard people say this, his name is not Brady. I know it's Brady Joiner Bricks, but his last name is Brady Joiner. His first name is Justin. So it's Justin Brady-Joiner. That's his name. I've heard a lot of people call him Brady, and I'm like, that's incorrect. Don't save. I know you guys are awesome people, and you wouldn't dare call him that. I want to replace that with plate modified. It's not in here. Is it in plate round? It's weird. White. Cool. And now I'm going to do another plate. That's white. Excuse me. I'm going to talk real quick about Lego Masters. If you haven't seen the recent episodes, cover your ears. I'm sad that John and Justin didn't make it, that they didn't make it farther than they did. I know vehicles aren't Justin's strong point. He doesn't, in all the builds that he's brought to our meetings, I don't think I've ever seen him build a car or a spaceship. And if he has, they've been very small and they've been part of a larger scene. So he's not built like a ship timber type of thing where it's a vehicle of some kind. So the fact that their challenge was to do a Batmobile kind of thing, I was like, oh, I kind of was worried about that. And then they showed the drawing of what they were trying to do. I was like, and Beth had looked it up, who had made it, who didn't. And I was like, don't tell me. It's like, I won't. All right, I like this a lot. We're gonna copy and paste this to this side. So she did not look up who won, but she looked up who lost, because she can't not know these things. But as soon as they posted the drawing that they do, like, they're like, all right, they come over to their table, like, and what do you work on? And they show kind of like a cartoon sketch of like their idea based off of, this is post-production, because later they'll have the finished model that they can go back and do a drawing of. But when they showed it, I'm like, and I looked at Beth, I'm like, they're not making it this time. And she's like, why? I was like, that is not Justin's strong suit. And I don't know John very well, but I've seen some of his builds, and that's also not his strong suit. They're very good at telling stories and making characters and being whimsical, and everything is just very joyful and bright and everything. And I was like, making a Batmobile car, even though they had the 60s version, which is a little more camp, I'm like, they basically built a big red box and it didn't work. So I was like, I felt really bad because it was just not in their wheelhouse. That said, it wasn't, I think, the work. I don't know that. I think given everybody else's builds, it was probably okay for them to get voted off. I think that was okay. I wasn't super happy about it, but I mean, I understand. There's still like some of the ones that made it were kind of even the one that was supposed to be the new Batman, the Robert Pattinson Batman, and it was all like slick and kind of Batman Returns kind of looking, and I'm like, the new Batman's car is just a car, like it's just like a Chevy Charger or something. Like there's nothing to that. You could have built anything, but they made it all like gadgety and stuff. I'm like, I don't think that's right. I'm trying to find, I don't think I had the back end of this thing. This is somebody's Lego build, but I don't know that that's actually what the back of the ship looks like. See, this is how you do it. Just a big bubble of a you can get a mock from Mock Brickland. This is another ship, now that I'm looking at the Scythopede shuttle. I haven't built one of these. Do I have that on my list? Scythopede? Scyth. I just realized that this is Sheathopede. Okay. Sheath. Do not have that. I'm searching in the wrong direction. My next Sheathopede. I don't know why I don't have that. Let's add it to the list. Is this to design? No, that's designed. To design. Sheathopede. Last shuttle. And I don't know who I'd put in it. It's got a weird little droid driver or whatever. All right, man. Take care. Glad you got there safe. Good having you here, hanging out. Appreciate you coming by. I hope to talk to you again soon. I'm trying to get more Steam games, so if you got any good Steam downloads for me, hit me up sometime. There's a new Tron game out I'm going to try to grab, so we'll see how that goes. But talk to you soon. All right. And save. The Sheathipede class shuttle is a very small ship, so it's probably why I didn't originally do it, but I'm like, I think it needs to be done. So I can't find the back end of this stupid... Oh, there it is. It's got these weird little angled things. Cool. All right, that's a great image that I need for that. I think I just made it up. I think I wanted these to be angled. So let's work on this back here a little bit. That can go away, that can go away. These are... almost perfect. Tell you what. They're held in place, so let's get rid of this. And we'll do a modified brick in here. Of just... I mean, it only needs to be this guy. Okay, let's put something over here to hold it in place. Is that not being held in place? Okay, good. Good, good, good. And then this back one can be this. Put this on there first, and then this clips. Good. Make that white. I think it comes in white. Okay. No, this one comes in white. And then in here, we'll just put a... That's odd. To put a, that's why it wasn't working. Got it. Got it, got it, got it. Let's put a... Yeah, I'm trying to fill in a space in there, but I think I don't want to now. Put in this grilled brick and call it a day. Don't need all the don't need all this extra stuff. Felt like my phone was buzzing. So what's everybody's plans for the upcoming weekend? You got anything major going on? I will say that I probably will be streaming on Sunday, but if I don't see y'all by Sunday, or if you aren't in the stream, my birthday is on Monday. So this whole week is like birthday week. It's like anything that I want to do. So that's why I went to Canary Roost. I went to do trivia last night. And then tonight, I'm going to go see a soccer game. I'm hoping. And trying to find my text. And Saturday we're going to Growler, meet a bunch of friends, and then Sunday I think stream, and don't know what else. Probably call my brother. My brother's birthday is the day before, so so it's gonna be a fun weekend. Thank you, Missy. I appreciate that. Let's see. Can I do? getting a haircut today. This mop needs a haircut. If I turn this, problem is, can I then attach other things? I don't think it's too close. Even if I were to rotate it. The software says I can, but I know for a fact that I can't. So, gotta figure out a different thing for whatever's back here. Because it's got these fun little things, and then the thrusters on the other side of wherever that is. So let's replace all this stuff over here too. Gone, 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 gone. We're gonna do this, this, copy and mirror. So helpful. Copy and mirror. I don't want to have to move this by arrows, but you're leaving me no choice. I don't understand that. That gave me fits twice now. I don't know why. This is going to be plate round. Because there's these new-ish plates that I want to get more of. These 1x3 plates, which I like. I think they come in white. These guys over here. Get rid of these guys. Actually, now that I think about it, let's see how this works. I want to attach. Oh, wait. This guy. Okay. So I want to attach all these things together. And this guy. And they're all on the same level. This could be easy as just putting a 4x, that's 5. So no, it wouldn't be that easy. Put that 6 back in there. That'll hold it in place. Or 8. Let's just do 8. I always start off with a 2x8, and it's always like the perfect size for all this stuff. And then we'll do, since there are now 1x5s, do 1x5 on each of these. In white. And then we'll do the boat bottoms. Right here. Easy enough. And that should be the same level as that when the wings go up and it lands. That's good. Okay. Doing good. Doing well. thrusters and this wing. So the wing also has a little blaster on it. I think I might leave it brick built because that's the best way to make it that shape. But I think I'm going to curtail its shape quite a bit. So it also looks like there's not this big junky amount of stuff on the top here. So I'm going to get rid of this middle section of stuff. Not you, Mace. And if I just lowered that, does it run into his head? It does not. Excellent. So, we're gonna break this apart. Make this red. Get rid of all of the rest of this. Slopes in here. We only got about 10 minutes left, and then you're free to have a weekend. I might make this a little shorter so it's a little chibi-ish. We'll put a brick in here. Put one of these guys here. Put a cheese slope on top of that. That white. One by 3 brick. It's going to be very simple. I'm trying to make this as simple as possible. Actually, what we'll do here, we'll do some plate decorations. My plates. Make it confused. Don't make me confused. So we'll do 2. And we'll do 1. That'll be white. And we'll do 3. Slope. Ooh, look at this new piece. Bet you that don't come in dark red. Oh, it does. That's a newish piece. And boy, will I try to use that. But there's no corresponding like flip side piece to that, so it's gonna be hard to. There's no inverted. That would be rad. Oh man. All right. Well, keep that in mind. That piece is available. We'll do a regular. We'll do this guy. I think you can get him color. I don't know why I did that. I think that's it. So, oh, I'm not done with the cockpit yet. Dang it, I was so close. Thought we were so out of here, but just this, we've reduced it from 188 pieces to 92 pieces. So this is perfectly Microfighter sized. Its footprint is, I mean, it's just over half the width it used to be. It's roughly the same height, and it's like 60% of the depth it was. So I mean, it definitely is reduced in size. I like this a lot better. This I would be happy to build like right now. So if we sit him back in his seat, which is a good location, we just have to figure out how to close this area up. These are great pieces. These tiles may need to go though. So the rounded tile I can put in here. Hold those up a little bit. That would be all right. And then on the front, I think I'm just gonna do we're buffering again. Sorry, I don't know how else to control that. So we'll do a plate. I'm gonna raise that up one. Oh, you know what? Is there a 2x2 modified plate that's like an angled? I thought there was an angled plate. Maybe it's in wedge plates. Wedge plate. Yeah, this guy. How do I get him? That's such a funky plate. But it would match this, but I don't know how else to attach that. Yeah, that's not worth trying to figure out. So we're just gonna do there's a new tile. Color does that come in? Nothing that's useful. Well, white. That doesn't work really well. My health stream is excellent. Thanks. Thanks for screwing me 3 times during the regular stream. So still make that black. And then we'll put a plate. And this guy can be white, yeah? That's okay. I might rework that cockpit a little bit, but it's okay. Without him in it, that's still 95 pieces. That's not bad. It's just on the edge of where I want it to be, but I think that would work. I think that would work pretty well. So, happy with this. Let's get rid of this guy because we don't need it in this anymore. We'll put him in here with his lightsaber. You gonna hold on to your lightsaber there, chump change? This is what I'm talking about. In what universe does that not work? Okay, cool. last little bit of showy offiness. Let's go ahead and save, and we're going to render it. So let's render real quick. I want it not that big. I don't want it 16:9. I want it 4:3. Let's keep it 1280. Zoom in a little bit on it. Bob's your uncle. It's too much. Okay. So this becomes my design. All right, cool. So I'm still giddy over the fact that rendering takes like 45 seconds. It used to take a half hour to do a Microfighter, and now it takes almost no time at all. So I'm really happy that I'm able to do that. I don't know what it does to the stream while I'm doing it, but I think this worked really well. Very happy with this model. You guys have a great rest of your day. I hope you have a good weekend. I hope to see you Sunday. I will try to, I think Sunday might be Q2 stadium design. We'll have to see. I ordered a couple smaller sets to bump up my insider point count so I can get that space car. But I don't think I'm going to get them by Sunday. But we'll put something together. We'll see what happens. So you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for being here as always. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.